Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the Bachelor Nation, Clayton Nation, Dave Nation, the Internet Nation. How are you guys all doing? Can you hear me okay? I'm actually live streaming with one of the apps I don't use as often, StreamYard. And boy, I think sometimes the audio and video quality is terrible on this app, but it helps when I want to bring other people on to interview and things like that. So, I value your time so much. I don't like to start late, but I am going to be getting to a lot in this video, a lot regarding all the things that happened over the weekend. I have to tell you, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover it all with the same sort of clarity that Lauren did over the weekend. She just did a great job. So anyhow, yeah, there's going to be a lot to get into. I'm still actually compiling some of the things that we'll talk about. We're going to be discussing the Bachelor Clayton scandal. Thank you for the super chat, Catherine B. What happened over the weekend was actually more, I don't want to say wild, but disheartening than you'd think, because look, we live in a society where there are checks and balances that exist journalistically and through public opinion. The Justice for Clayton community has provided such a check on the raging, insane, egotistical pursuit by Laura Owens to punish men that dump her. That's really what it is. She claims that I'm cyberbullying her, and yet she says, "Oh, I only sent that guy fake medical documents because he was cyberbullying." Well, I'm going to share with you in this live stream the actual documents that she sent to Clayton Echard to prove she had $448,000 to buy a rental property. Now, on one hand, if that's not true and she made up that number, that's really messed up. And on the other hand, if it is true, it's also messed up that her father's grifting, we're calling it a grift fund me, for a bunch of money when the family's got $500,000 in their bank account. Like, which one is it? Do you and your mom make $500,000 a year, have this wildly successful podcast? We know they don't. Or is it all smoke and mirrors? The only thing that is true in what I'll be covering, Winks said, set a new goal, Dave. Oh yeah, I set a goal like last night accidentally. I don't have any goals set up. I'll tell you what, I'll set a goal just so we have one, but no need to purchase. I'm going to share all the information with you guys regardless. But I do appreciate you guys. I've got, there's going to be put it this way. The only person in the story we're covering that has a actual real fan base, it's not Laura, it's really not Jan, it's Ronn. Ronn had years of, dare I say, credibility in the way that he spoke to his audience. The irony is Ronn made it in a world that was extremely lucrative for the job of being a radio guy. He would not last 2 seconds in today's world. iHeartRadio has gobbled up all the radio stations. There's literally no money in radio if your last name isn't Seacrest or Stern. Like, that's it. There's no other money in radio, which is fine. He was there during the golden era. I'm going to set a 60. I'm going to set a goal here for 10 super chats. No big deal if you hit them or not. I'm just going to set this goal, and we'll set the timer for 45 minutes from now. I'll bring on a special guest. We're going to do that anyway. Look, I'm bringing the special guest on anyway. I'm just setting the goal up because I think it helps. I think having the goals helps YouTube's algorithm. I don't know. You don't have to donate. Erica said Seacrest is impressive. Yeah, no, it's not that they're and you're right. Howard Stern's not on radio, and it's not that they're impressive or not. It's that the world, and this is what's really dangerous with journalism, really dangerous. The world has consolidated voices so that Seacrest you'll hear him in the morning. Hey, this is Ryan Seacrest with blah 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 skibba-doo-doo, blah 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 blah. And then that's like he's wherever the hell he is. He doesn't know what is going on in Albuquerque. This is the reason like George Santos, the like absolute fraud, was able to make it into Congress before people were like, dude, that's not your name. You took money from weird places, and you've grifted all these different things. You need local journalism. Now, here's the good thing. The good thing is YouTube rewards people for, I don't want to say tattletaling, because I think in this democracy we have, people will decide, oh, you've gone too far. People might say, oh, you're trying to expose somebody, but we don't really care. In cases of Laura Owens, people care because she's been able to fly just below the radar, like some action film. When they got to get that plane where no one can see it, they fly just below. She's flown just below the radar. How and why? Because nobody cares about family court. Nobody wants to be intrusive about the human body, and especially the female body. I mean, maybe your Congress people do, but I certainly don't. I don't want to know what's going on. Take care of yourself. I trust you'll make the best decisions. Gemma said it's not tattletaling, it's whistleblowing. And that's exactly what it is. It's whistleblowing, right? And it's not the only blowing. Come on, folks. Swallow your pride and admit to all the wrongs you did. It's whistleblowing. And it's gotten so convoluted because she's being investigated by county prosecutors. If she gets prosecuted, indicted, she's going to have to put up a lot of money for a really good defense, or else she's going to jail. I mean, this is serious stuff. She might have been panicking with a little Monster Energy high before, but this is like really serious stuff. And you wonder, well, what does that have to do with Ronn Owens' illness? Well, she kind of used it along with anything else in her arsenal to try to get people to stop covering this case. What are you doing? No, you're harassing me. My father's this. I got to go that way. And it's like all of this time that could have been spent, like the family hires a in-home person to watch their dad. She's so busy petting her horses and creating fake HCG documents when she could be the one helping the family. And again, I don't want to ever tell anyone how to spend their money. They're allowed to have a GoFundMe set up. They're allowed to. But what's interesting is what people are saying about what might be the reasoning behind it. So even if the money does go to his living expenses, this is after their money has been drained for several reasons, one of which is his gambling addiction. But another has got to be helping their daughter out, who has been a known liar for well over, I think around a decade now, was the first time that somebody, Colin Scanlon, said, oh yeah, Ronn Owens told us his daughter does this type of stuff. And you might think, early on, people thought we were picking on her because it was so obvious she was a known liar. And sadly, she gets away with it. And she's getting away with it right now with the San Francisco Chronicle. And I'm telling you, we've got plenty of journalists that are riding their ass right now. And I'm going to share a few things that I can, but I have to make sure, if you don't mind, I'm just going to kind of go slowly here because I've got a lot of random, I got to remember how to use all of this. So here's his fundraiser right now. This is it, right? $86,000. They launched it maybe New Year's Eve, and it started with a $60,000 cap. Now, as happens when you get close to your goal, sometimes you add more to it. So now it's at $87,000 with a $100,000 goal. Mark my word, when this thing hits 90,000, by the end of the day, I guarantee, my opinion, this will be up to about 125 to 150,000 because news organizations are picking this up. It's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Sarah Wink says it's just wild to me. And look, people can do whatever they want with their money. I just think people that are in the know with what's actually going on here wouldn't in a million years donate to this. Like I said, I've never once tried to cancel her. I'm just sharing my opinion. I've had people say, oh, should I be donating to this? I don't know. I feel bad for him. And then others have said, what are you talking about? He's got Medicare, and I don't know how it all works. But apparently when it covers this type of stuff. He was making $1 million a year. And look, this isn't a dumb guy. I don't know where he stands right now, because this is what's crazy. Throughout this whole process, and again, I'm not calling this elder abuse. I'm not. I don't know what it is. But I tell you what, I haven't seen him on camera talking about this GoFundMe. I haven't seen him on camera supporting Laura Owens. The only thing we saw was like a 4-second video that was like him going, yeah, of course I support my daughter, or whatever he said, which of course could have been like his daughter saying, Dad, they're bothering me online. Can you help me out? Whatever the case may be. So let me see some of your super chats here. Catherine with the $2. Thank you. A Mesta with $5 super sticker. And of course, Winks over there. We need to get back to letting people see the facts and decide for themselves. His poor fans don't know the whole story. And that's what it comes down to. The only fans of his that know his story are the ones that are in some of the Facebook groups that, are, chronically online. Our generation is chronically online. My mom would have never heard of this story because it wouldn't have hit her algorithm. And so many others that followed him for decades are wealthy, maybe in their retirement era, and they go, oh, geez, I want to support this guy. He felt like family to me. And that's what it comes down to, is a lot of you guys, hopefully, some of you, I might feel like family to you. You might care about my life, my wife, my baby, and the things like that. Why? Because I try to relate to you, because that's the name of the game. I don't do it for reasons that are sinister at all. It's just with YouTube, with podcasting, I try to talk to you like we're friends. And some of you guys, as you know, on the Patreon and others, have become friends. And then I get messages every day. And every time I have a stand-up show, someone comes and says, oh my gosh, Dave, this is going to be so weird. Like, you don't know me, but I get it. I've had podcasts I've listened to for a decade where I'll absolutely cry when the person passes. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's a weird thing. So as far as Ronn's concerned, I got no beef with him. What's interesting is, let me see if I can find it. I've got a couple interesting clips I'm going to share with you. I actually shared one on the podcast this morning. Does anyone know who this guy is? Rich Lieberman. Let's go to the 221 mark. He's actually he's very slow in the way he talks, but he does a good job. He actually discusses why he discusses Ronn Owens' gambling addiction. And you might say, should you donate to somebody who blew all their money on gambling? Well, I mean, do whatever the hell you want is what I always say. Do whatever the hell you want. My GoFundMe was set up because people wanted me to pursue this case. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And people said, hey, if you get sued, we got you. And that's why it was set up. His GoFundMe is because he pissed away money gambling.
Ronn had some issues in life.
Just tell me, make sure, can you guys hear this?
With regards to gambling, it's an addiction. It's in and of itself a sickness. Now, I don't want to go into specifics, but there are reasons to which his financial situation could be in peril. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Okay. But you pick and choose, folks. You pick and choose issues. Now is not the time. If there was some grave sort of a criminal situation at hand here, that'd be a different story. This is an individual, and I'm talking in generalities, my best guess. There are lots of things that I know, that other people know, that are close to Ronn, both current and past, that frankly may explain a lot of these certain issues. But it's not the time.
I just love how vague it is. I love how vague he is. It's like, what are the other issues? Let us know. Like, what happened? Was he blowing it all on hookers? Like, we want to know. He actually mentions Laura, kind of.
Right now, to go into that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and, people asked me the other day, or more than that, oh, you're a kiss ass, and this guy, da, da, da. I know about the daughter too. She's been very, very public about it. I didn't talk about that because that wasn't a time. Frankly, I don't know much about that other than what I've read. I know that his daughter did an interview and many interviews before with various people. I chose not to get myself involved in that because I got no beef with her.
One of the few. Sadly, it's not necessarily a complicated thing here, the grift that's happened, but to the people on the outside, it's a he said, she said, because they go, oh, she was pregnant, she wasn't. Like, a lot of people don't even know what the scandal was, especially if you look at the people that that follow Clayton, you know, kind of on the surface level. They don't know the depths of the Mike Maricini laptop, who, by the way, congrats to Mike Maricini. He shared his GoFundMe. I'm not going to share his link right now, but I do want to blast it out there. I'm going to be supporting somebody else today, but we will blast that out there. Mike Maricini and his wife do in just over a month, which is so exciting. Beautiful family. Shannon said, I chose to ignore the criminal investigation into his daughter. Yeah, people don't want to cover it. And it's absolutely bonkers what's happening here with the San Francisco Chronicle. Let's jump right into that. Let's go to the San Francisco Chronicle right here. And yeah, it's, you know, so they post this article. And again, when I talk about journalism is dead, they're basically doing the PR work for the Owens. Now, yes, Ronn Owens was a big part of San Francisco, but where's the actual journalism questioning what the hell's going on? We made a video, I think, on Friday where Jan Black, Ronn Owens' wife, they've all got different names. It's so annoying because none of them are their real names. Jan Black, whose name's Elizabeth, she said, hey, to those wondering if this is legit, it's legit. It's like, who even has to say that? Who that needs money needs to say, no, this isn't a scam. What? A lot of people are going to be going like, why would I have thought it's a scam? So here's what San Francisco Chronicle, and by the way, I don't know anything about the San Fran Chronicle, but these are like institutional places. Former KGO host Ronn Owens, the beloved Bay Area radio personality who shaped the airwaves for nearly 5 decades. It's like, all right, calm down. You know, like, I don't try to over glorify what I do here, but like, shaped the airwaves. He read the fucking news. Okay. You want to shape the airwaves? It's 28 degrees and partially cloudy here in Nashville. Snow is stopping in about 50 minutes. Okay. I can do what? We just shaped the news, folks. Hold on. The news is shaped. What's going on? The Golden Globes were last night. Colin Farrell won. Just shaped the news, folks. Here it is. Send me a super chat if you want me to shape some more news, please. I'd love to do it for you. Anyhow, I get it. They're making it something, and it's also during us. Listen, Laura, Jan, Ron, whoever's behind this, friends of Ronn Owens, which, by the way, they said friends. It was his wife and daughter, right? They say the friends of Ronn Owens. God damn, they're oof. Anyhow, they found the New Year's Eve, this came out. This is when people are on break. This is when editors don't have much going on. You know, this is when people are looking. I mean, every day they need to fill their Twitter feed. Every day. Listen, as somebody who shapes the news, Erica said, Dave makes the news rhombus shaped. I'm gonna now that I'm on keto, now that I'm on ketosis, I'm gonna really shape the news for you. But listen, it's just like absolutely ridiculous what's going on. And by the way, I am gonna share the receipts that nobody's seen before. We're gonna do that in about half an hour, so stick around for that. Oh, look at this! Shout out to Katie Streif, who says she's using her PTO the week my kids go back to school. Oh, good for her. Oh, and you're drinking Scooter coffee. Hold on, I'm going to reshare this on my Instagram. Someone just posted on the TV that they're watching me during their PTO. Oh, look, I mean, hey, use your PTO for whatever you want. Do you want to use your PTO to be shaped by Dave Neal? Dave Neal is shaping you. Dave's news is Egyptian toe shaped, says Bruce. We're going to shape this news so hard. Listen, if you want hard shaped news, you come to me. There will be literal no soft edges on the news that I am shaping. I am going to just really fillet the news. Okay, you got the point. Reg Angel says, I'm shaping the news. Trudeau resigns. Is that true? Did he just resign? Look at that. The news has been shaped. We can even add, look, I also can add the breaking news button here. Can you guys hear this? Ladies and gentlemen, shaping the news. It's reported that Trudeau resigns. I don't know if that's true, but we are shaping the news here. Let's go to trusted mainstream media to find out if that's true. Yeah, there it is. He announced his resignation right there. So let me see if I can share this page instead here. Shaping the news. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announces resignation. Done. News shaped. Moving on, folks. We shaped it. We saw. We conquered. Let's go back to this tweet here. So yeah, so it's scary. You know what I mean? It's actually scary that a news organization would. Well, I'll share with you what you did. And by the way, we love that Umbrella Guy is coming out in support of justice here. Who told you that Laura Owens' case was dismissed? She lost and was referred to prosecutors. So here's what was posted in their article initially. Laura Owens is dealing with personal family drama. Yeah. In 2023, his daughter Laura Owens filed a paternity suit against former Bachelor star Clayton Echard, alleging he fathered her twins. And by the way, she was pregnant. So the fact that they said fathered the twins, it was alleging he was the father of her unborn twins. Although the case was dismissed in June, she plans to appeal, maintaining her claims and saying her actions were driven by cyberbullying. We will not let the story be rewritten. If I were the journalist here, I would dive into how and why she claims she was cyberbullied. You might say, Dave, well, you made 300 videos about her. Well, she started lying to me the second she started emailing me. One of the first emails she ever sent me was fraudulent medical documents I ended up getting into the right hands and were used in court to get prosecutors to investigate her. Here's all I'm going to say about the prosecutors. Oh yeah, you want me to shape the news here. I'll shape the news. I'll shape the news and I'll shape your nuts. We'll do it. King Bob said Ronn Owens shaped the news. His daughter was the news. Yeah, he shaped her into a quite a adult. Listen, I'm not saying they could have done anything differently, but I just hope, as much as I love my son, I hope when he's in his 30s, he doesn't live at home. I just hope, unless it's because, we have some great palatial estate because I shaped the news so hard. Moki said they shaped this article. Yeah. The editing is ongoing. Oh, you guys are fantastic. You guys are bringing it today. Really hot stuff. Bringing it hard today. They shaped the article. Jane says the Owens family got Aiden to delete anything negative. And right, as a journalist, the last thing you want is to be pushed around. And look, there are times when we cover the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively situation. There are times when it's like two warring PR people and you go, I've got an article about your, I won't share this if you don't share that. It's just public relations. This is important stuff here. There are men who can't travel out of the country without being screened, harassed because they have restraining orders against them. There are men that cannot get jobs that should be the peak earning years to provide for their family. You don't understand. Like, this is way more sinister than the San Francisco Chronicle is alluding to. So just by them saying that the case was dismissed in June is insanity. You would think they would immediately correct that. People are sharing that they've emailed the reporter. And trust me, I've seen plenty of emails. The reporter needs a full-time assistant to sift through all the emails they're getting. I can't help but notice that you've made multiple updates to your article about Ronn Owens, where you are clearly parroting the lies Laura tells. Question, as a journalist, as they are professional consequences for publishing something that is blatantly not true and clearly hasn't been fact-checked, do you realize by parroting her lies, she's making you look foolish because what your article now says makes no sense? I draw your attention to this part of your article. And then shared that the case was dismissed in June. She plans to appeal. And then, of course, shares the case was dismissed. She would not be able to appeal. The joke is only losers appeal. So if she is telling you that it was dismissed, but she's appealing, she's lying.
She lied?
I've attached the judge's 19-page ruling, which clearly outlines that Laura lied repeatedly through the process, altered documents, and brought bad faith litigation, was sanctioned to have to pay the other party's attorney's fees and referred for criminal investigation. Does that sound like a dismissal to you? And the judgment is the judgment. Just because she's appealing does not mean the appeals court will even take up the case for consideration. So, I mean, good work here. People can fight back. We don't know how much this is the journalist or their publisher. I honestly don't know how far up the grapevine it goes with people. Like, I don't understand why he's got any pull whatsoever. Umbrella Guy says, I wrote the outlet for comment. So far, nothing. I'll be following up. I'm not reaching out to them, but I do know people that are. I do know professional journalists that are actually writing stories about this. You could maybe guess who. And this is going to be really important. Because, anyway, so yeah, it's infuriating. Cat Lady Ballerina says, I'm famous again, flips hair over shoulder. Does the GoFundMe track how many campaigns an individual or group is involved with year to year? I'm not sure. And look, it's going to be really hard to prove, on the surface, what is like nefarious here versus what is just like, I don't know. So yeah, this is what was shared while Clayton, hold on. While Clayton admitted to being intimate with podcast host Laura Owens, he denied having sexual intercourse with her. In June, a judge ruled in Eckerd's favor, dismissing the paternity claim and referring Owens for potential criminal charges of perjury and evidence tampering. Owens admitted to altering her sonogram and pregnancy test results, but maintained she was pregnant at the time. So help me out in the comment section. This is from a different article that was written, correct? There was multiple articles that were written. Here's what somebody said in our Patreon. Not a lawyer, so take my opinion as you will. I feel that Clayton and even Judge Mata could sue the Chronicle for their misstatement of facts and linking Laura's ramblings without the disclaimer that it is strictly her opinion. This would be like Baldoni's suit with New York Times, but with way more teeth. And people have said, no, probably not, because they issued a retraction. It's just sloppy. Sarah Wing says, this is the same one. He took it out. This was from a previous version. And Bruce said, altering her sonogram. Yeah, where's the proof that it was her sonogram in the first place? Same article, previous version. So this guy got this wrong. And you know what? On one level, I kind of feel bad for him, because it's like, you think you got a fluff piece. All right, Aiden or whatever his name is. You're going to write about this guy's, whatever. Oh, he shaped the news. Okay, he did this, blah, blah, blah. And then come to find out he's all over the place with the wrong information. Yeah. Oh, someone sent me something here. Hold on. Let me, I'm going to screen grab what was just sent to me, and I'm going to post it. You guys have been sending me fantastic stuff. I mean, it's been very hard to cover because it's like drinking water out of a garden hose. Again, more insanity popping up. But this person, Mel, says the GoFundMe may be the biggest misstep yet if the money is not going to medical bills, but her legal battles. In my opinion, it would be blatant fraud. I wonder if the state could subpoena GoFundMe to see what account the funds will be transferred to. While that wouldn't make the case. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm sure he does have a lot of like bills. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure like they could put this money towards the house's mortgage and claim, whatever. And then the money they don't put towards the mortgage then go. So they can work their way around this so easily that I don't think they'll ever really nab them for anything. So Ronn Owens posted, and this is a while ago, having fun with the best music you've never heard. Aiden Vaziri, pop critic for the San Fran Chronicle, joined me to give his take on some of the songs sent in by Northern California unsigned music artists. There's some great talent right here in Northern California, and we wanted to give them some deserved added exposure. Hope you're enjoying it. You get to vote after 11 a.m. today. And then someone posted, this is one reason why this journalist keeps changing his story. He had done a segment with said journalist in the past. Radio DJs make a ton of connections throughout their time. They have immense swing and pull. You know, I'm actually been listening to the conversation between this is going to be in the well, you know what, I'll get to that later. I have some more things I'll share on the afternoon rush we just don't have time for. But of course it was a favor for the family. I mean, Ronn Owens, even if he doesn't work there, the guys that are up top that still do have leverage in radio and in journalism are all guys and women he probably came up with. So, it's just no surprise. We've received some information. Now, hold on. Just give me a second here to kind of put this all together. More comments from Twitter that make perfect sense. Like almost 800 people have donated to this GoFundMe. Ask these questions. Is Laura going to sell her Airbnb, her horses? Why won't they downsize their $1 million+ home and liquidate what they have before asking the public for fast cash? How's Laura's Patreon doing, by the way? Did she really think she was going to get more attention? I don't know. I'm not trying to sound snarky. I'm just like, you got to follow them. You got to follow the money here. And Jessica said last year, Ronn Owens' daughter was trying to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, trying to spend hundreds of thousands buying multiple luxury apartments for investment, has luxury horses, and spent thousands financially ruining 5+ men for issues like rejecting her, daring to say no. Yeah, what it comes down to is now it's obvious that Laura has some severe problems. I mean, like she's essentially like Ronn Owens is in full-time care, and Laura's kind of in full-time care too. It's a hell of a job that Jan has. There's got to be a reason why Laura went to school online. There's got to be like they don't trust. Like there's something keeping her in the family house, which I really empathize with. It's really sad. If it's true, which I believe that Laura lied about all these different things, if you're a parent, the best thing you would do for her is expose her lies so that they don't get any sort of like momentum, which is exactly, the opposite of what has happened. Bruce says, if you Google her name in Patreon, it just has Lauren's videos. Oh, how funny. Tammy said, just had furniture delivered and introduced the guys that came to Dave on TV. Hello, furniture guys. We're just shaping the morning news. I'm your news shaper here. BS said, submitting fake financial records to the court is a felony, no? And again, I don't know what's been submitted to the court and what's not, but it's like, how can somebody... Here, I mean, and again, there's going to be a lot more to this. I asked Bruce, and I told some people like I don't understand all of the sort of motivation behind some of these financials, but chronological listing of documents recorded by Maricopa County, deed of trust, so like different homes, different different loans, and people have said, well, Laura's sister, Sarah, and her husband are signed on to their family home in Scottsdale. So, and the loan is underwater. By that meaning it's not profitable. I mean, if anyone in the comment section can explain this to me, I think the financial information is a complete different subject that I'm not exactly comfortable discussing until like I would love to have a full on like deep dive on to the education of HELOC loans. Maybe there's someone that has that expertise and wants to DM me. But I think I've kind of held off from the full on conversation about this. But now that there's GoFundMe's happening to raise money for them, I think it's, probably would be important to look into. So give me a second. Oh, interesting. So I was asking I appreciate the comments I'm getting right now. I was asking what would the importance be for having for having all of these different loans. and the response I got was that it proves that Laura Owens didn't use $448,000 to buy property the way she was saying. She was buying property on the very cheap. And look, like, I get it. We just bought our first home this year. The interest rates are crazy high. It's very hard to buy an extra home. You wouldn't leverage yourself to buy a home. So this is where they added her sister in 2023. Now, don't get me wrong. I fully believe they are in dire financial straits. What's interesting, though, is that she was so abusively using her family's money as a way to say, no, we've got all the money we need we have all the money and the resources to punish these men, when in fact they're hanging on by a thread. So no, they don't have the money. She threatened a Hail Mary $1.4 million lawsuit to try to get him to stop covering this. Like, they don't have the money at all. They're probably like trying to pay their bills. Support an actual GoFundMe for an actual good person here. So I'm going to pin this comment. Oh, I have to, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on one second. I'm posting a GoFundMe here in the chat room. That's going to be who we talk about next. So I got a message from somebody. Look, people all feel a special way when it comes to this case. It brings out different emotions for different people. It brings out emotions from people who lost family members. It brings out emotions from people who had pregnancy issues, fertility issues, things like that. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I'm so proud to have Dave Neal's community on Facebook, a completely free community, 2,500 people. Some people like Facebook, some like Patreon, whatever. But I got this message from Jill, which is so heartbreaking. I'm not going to read it all. This is a long and vulnerable post. I figured I would share here because it started here. I'm sure this is going to upset a certain someone, but I've always followed this case silently on the sidelines. Thank you to all those who liked my comment and sent a little message. I just wanted to say that I found out about Ronn's GoFundMe from the post on this page, so I was a few days behind, but when I commented, I literally had tears rolling down my face. I'm not sure why. I think it's just a testament to how triggering Laura Owens is to real people. I just feel like GoFundMe is so diabolical. Her GoFundMe. His, Ronn Owens. Personally, I had to be convinced to do my GoFundMe. A nurse actually convinced me to agree to it because she said your friends and family will want to support you. People like to help, and you should let them because it will take the pressure off. But the fact that this man, or shall we say Laura Owens, is so comfortable taking from others when she owns multiple rental properties, horses, is wild to me. Just to be in the equestrian world takes a certain type of financial freedom that most Americans do not have. I wanted to add that I did not comment yesterday because I feel entitled to anyone's money or because I wanted to drive people to my GoFundMe. It's interesting because I was extremely stressed about finances right before Christmas. I was worried because I knew my deductible would reset in January and I would need to either shell out thousands of dollars. So she goes into all of the money that it takes because she's got stage 4 cancer. A few people responded and were so nice and basically encouraged me to share it on the Patreon or the Discord. I went over to Patreon to share it, but then I read some of the posts from the single moms who were receiving gifts. I could tell how grateful these moms were for the smallest gift act of kindness. And in that moment, I realized that other people needed this generosity more than me. Am I struggling financially? Hell yeah. Is it stressful? Extremely. But I'm so lucky because my daughter is an only grandkid with an extended family who spoils her. She literally has no clue that we struggle. So to see other moms so grateful that their child would have a gift to open on Christmas morning just made me realize that I need to let things be and be grateful for all I have. So to see someone like Laura and Ronn, who live in a tax bracket that I'll never be close to, just racking in all of this money makes me sick. It's so gross and triggering. There is no doubt in my mind that Laura Owens is behind this GoFundMe, 100%. You can tell she looks for ways to make money in such a weird Ponzi scheme mentality. Like she would never dream of just getting a regular 9-to-5 like the rest of us. It's always a quick deal or some type of shady financial keybacker. So it's a very heartfelt comment by our pal Jill over here. And we have Jill to discuss, just her feelings with regards to being in a place of need with a GoFundMe and how we can help her out within our community. Hey, Jill, how are you?
Good, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. It's been a kind of a wild weekend learning about Ronn Owens GoFundMe, but let's actually just talk more about you. Tell us where you are right now. You've got stage 4 breast cancer.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I got diagnosed in February of last year. Shocking, to anybody. I was an athlete. I played tennis at Alabama. I was a Division I All-American athlete. I know that doesn't really define if you're going to have cancer or not, but just kind of explains, your health background. And so to get that diagnosis was shocking. And so, yeah, it spread to my bones. And so I finished chemo in July, and right now I'm just doing immunotherapy. One thing real quickly that I just wanted to make sure people realize, I get a lot of questions like, why wouldn't you get surgery? And I would love to get surgery, but I don't think people know that now, like with stage 4, they don't recommend surgery because basically it's for peace of mind only, they tell you. I've been to like 10 doctors. And so once it spreads past the breast, like they say it won't help you.
So the surgery is to try to like encapsulate it, and it hasn't spread yet. And for your case,
it's exactly. And so, yeah, so I'm just doing immunotherapy, and it actually has been great. I've been responding to it really well. I still have a little cancer in my breast, but it's very hard to just mentally walk around with cancer in you, but that's what they tell me to do. And so I'm trying to do that. And hopefully the immunotherapy just keeps it contained. And that's basically what you do. And so every 3 weeks you do this treatment, they try to contain it. And then eventually to stop working. One day I'll go in there and my scan, they'll tell me it's spreading again. And so then they have like these different stages of immunotherapy. Like you go to a harder one that has like chemo infused. It's almost like you're nickel and diming your life. You're like, how many months can I get from this? How many months can I get from the next one? And so forth. Yeah.
When and then it's obviously to much lower level, but when Tasha had Lyme disease, they had one therapy that was there just to break through the coat. Like there was a certain cell coat that you had to break through, and then the next therapy would go into it, and like you'd have to wait for one thing after another, and it has to be absolutely just really frustrating. Now, how's your family doing? And you've left such nice comments that I want the audience to know. I had to really I don't say beg you to come on, but you're very humble. You didn't want the attention here, but I just thought it would be very good, as we have your GoFundMe pinned, to really put some of the energy of our community into something good versus continue to talk about a family that's just taking advantage of their fan base.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I have a 6-year-old, so I think that's the hardest thing about this entire situation. Like, I have my daughter at 41, I guess, actually. So, I'm older, and she's an only child. And so I already had a lot of guilt about that. So I just like having a child and having cancer is horrible. You wake up literally every day and just think like, is my illness going to be my child's trauma? Is basically like my mindset, because I have, you have your trauma from your own parents. And so that like my whole goal as a mom is like, I am not going to be my daughter's trauma. Like I'm going to make sure she has a happy childhood, blah, blah, blah. And so then when this happened, it's like, dang, I can't control this. You know what I mean? And so she doesn't know I have cancer. She knows I'm sick. I did cold capping not to lose my hair and things like that. So she just, we're transparent as can be, but I'm not going to go into the dirty details with her. But so we're getting through it. I'm an academic advisor at a college. So I'm just a very like average person. And financially it's hard. It's just like each treatment, it's crazy. I looked at my insurance app. It's $30,000. That's pre-insurance, but you can just imagine like what these pharma companies do to you. And so, you just have to hope that you're going to have a job and be able to keep paying for all this stuff. And it's been difficult, but I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm happy that the treatment's working and just trying to keep moving forward.
The conversation with medical in our country and healthcare, it's one that's obviously reached a fever pitch. Can you just explain, you are employed, do you have good health insurance? And even with good health insurance, it's still, you gotta be financially just insane.
Yeah. So I am employed. I'm like very lucky with my job. I have a lot of trust with them. I did go through all my paid leave last year, but hopefully that resets in January. But we're insured through my husband's the company he works for. Our insurance is okay. It's not great. We have a high deductible plan. We did buy into the newer plan this January, so like it's restarting, but now it's like over like $1,000 every month out of his paycheck. And it's just crazy because he's been employed with them for 12 years and we've never really needed insurance. And then you finally need them and you go to get like a PET scan and they're like, nope, you can't get a PET scan. You have to get a bone scan. Then you have to get a CAT scan. And then like, you're like getting all these other tests. And then you eventually get clear for this PET scan months later because they realize, oh, she actually did need this. And they just wasted so much time and so much money making you get all these smaller tests. And it's a scam. It should literally be illegal what they do. Like what other company can you just pay thousands of dollars to every month for 12 years and then need them and you don't get anything from them? So
yeah, I mean, especially with time being so precious to like get me what I need. I've got your GoFundMe pulled up here. You had raised money. Of course, it can just go like that. It's crazy to think that somebody like Ronn Owens, who, you know, hey, look, his job was to have a platform in front of a lot of people, kind of like my job is. Like I can raise money on a dime or have been in the past if I needed it. And to think someone like you know, is just existing almost like not wanting to ask people for help. I hate that socialized healthcare in our country is a GoFundMe. Like I hate this, but our audience is super generous. I can already see donations that have come in from people in our crowd, but like, what does it mean? What does it mean to see a donation come in from someone in our audience here?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even process that like somebody would go out of their way to do something like that for you, you know? I've never had that type of connection or anything like that with a stranger. So I don't really want to speak about the Laura Owens situation much. I just wanted to say that it was strange seeing her GoFundMe because honestly, my first reaction, I'm like, am I jealous? Am I jealous of this? Like, I was trying to check my own, you know, like bias and like, I don't like feeling that way. And I'm like, I don't know if it's jealousy, so much just frustration with the system in general. And just, you know, I'll never, ever have $60,000 in my bank account. Like I've pretty much accepted that, unfortunately. And so just to see that privilege of being able to get that money, like on a dime, is something that's just like hard to process. And it's not from like a lack of me not working hard in my life. Like I've worked extremely hard. I've just, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to me that she could do that. Like, I just think even if the money is going towards him, the fact that you have all this going on in your family, you just can't really put a GoFundMe out in the world when you have all that going on. Like we even had to sit down and be like, okay, is there any reason we shouldn't do this? Have we taken any vacations? Have we done anything that people would think this would not be, you know, going towards something useful? And the fact that they just don't do that is just a level of like privilege, I think, that they've lived their life with. And so, I mean, anybody that is willing to donate to my GoFundMe, I can assure you this money is going towards a mother of a little 6-year-old girl that is just trying to make sure she can get through her life and be there for her. Sorry.
No, it's emotion that like the grace that you have for your situation, and you're looking at the Ronn Owens situation like a normal person would. You're trying to evaluate why you feel a certain way, which is so, it's just like so kind, because you know you like it is the intuition that you have is a feeling of like, yeah, you're allowed to. It's not jealousy. It's like, what the hell is why is this person's life worth the attention that they're getting through the media? And like I said before, it's just a product of the psychology of the fact that he was in people's ears. You know, it's like my being is no greater or worse than someone else's, but I've just connected in a way that if the time comes, I have a little bit of a voice. 700 people in the chat, and you know, right now already hundreds that have come in. Look, I mean, and I hate to even say this, but like, if you ever want to talk offline about ways that you could maybe share your story in ways that could provide that 60 grand in your bank account, you know, never say never. The world's different out there right now, but your story is powerful, and it's very, I mean, it's a lot, right? And yeah. I don't want to take up too much of your time here, but I'm really glad you were able to come on and introduce yourself to the community. I'm sure, like, how long, like, what was your sort of origin with my channel and all of this?
Oh, I'm like a reality TV person. So yeah, like that's like my escape from life. So I've seen every season of The Bachelor. I'm ashamed to say. But yeah, so I've been watching since the beginning. And then the Laura Owens thing was just fascinating. And, you know, like everybody else, I believed it at first. And like, they want to say, oh, you're part of a cult. And it's like, no, like you're just I actually am a contrarian. I like to go against the grain and like go for the underdog. So like being against a woman, you know, it's just not natural for me at all. But it's like, please show me something that makes sense, Laura Owens, like something to believe in you. And I would happily believe you, you know, just hearing her little trailer to her podcast last night. It's like, come on, Laura, this isn't your fight. You're trying to make this your fight. Like I'm in a fight, you know what I mean? Like I am in a fight for my life and this is out of my control. You are creating this narrative. You can easily step away and go ride your horses and go like your Concita and have an amazing life. And I would give anything for that life, honestly. So it's like, I just wish I could like, was a friend of hers almost like, and just be like, come on, dude, walk away. Like go find somebody, have a happy life. Like you're doing this to yourself.
Yeah,
very frustrating person.
I've talked about this lab-grown victimhood that she kind of does. She tries to, they've tried to claim we're anti-Semitic. They've tried to claim we're anti-women or we're this or that. I mean, one thing after another. She's used everything she can to be a victim. And here we have someone like you who is sadly battling for your life and has actual adversity that you're facing. I would love it if we're able to help you in other ways and just forget the Laura Owens stuff of it. I'd love if we could find different ways to continue to support you. So don't be a stranger, please. I can already tell from your personality type. You're like, well, I don't want, you tried 3 different times to say, hey, Dave, if you're busy, no, get in here. Get in here.
Yeah, that's me.
I knew it'd be better to talk to you here. And just versus me that's why for the teachers, the single moms wish list this year, I was like pleading with people, please call in. I know it's like a little nerve-wracking, but like when people hear their voices, they're more likely to want to help. So we appreciate you. And maybe we can have you back whenever you've got any updates. What do you tell me about? What are your hopes for 2025? I hate to ask like about what does stage 4 even mean? I'm sorry that I don't know more about this. It's a great
question.
Curious, right?
Yeah, no, it's a great question because like I didn't know that either. And so like I think stage 4 for different cancers means different things. But like with metastatic breast cancer, I'll just be frank. My sister doesn't, she might listen to this and she doesn't even know this because I try to keep them from this. But they told me originally I had 5 years to live. And so that was very hard. But now that I've responded so well to this immunotherapy, like they said 20 years isn't unreasonable. And so that's like amazing. But so it really just depends on how you respond to this treatment, and, but I live very normal. You would never except during chemo, I had no idea this was going on. I was a runner running like 7-10 miles a day. Then they're telling me I have stage 4 cancer in the bones. I was like, there's no way, but I just don't believe you at first. I believe the breast part, but anyway. So yeah, I live a really normal life. I work. I mean, now I do, like I said, after chemo, 2025, my goal is honestly to be more present and just to try to enjoy my life. I was isolating a little bit, just because of everything I was going through. And I've really made an effort, even just in 2 weeks, to like not do that. I saw Sarah Silverman the other night in downtown Denver. So like my best friend was like, whoa, you're like actually getting out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make something positive come from this situation. And so that's what I'm doing right now, trying to get back into physicals, fitness, like, yeah, chemo wrecked my cardio. So all of that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Well, we really look forward to hearing some positive updates. But someone had left a comment saying, do you have an Amazon wish list for any other needs? If there's anything we can do, consider putting together a wish list. Obviously, how it works. People can just send you things. Trust me. I tell my audience sometimes, you got to leave me alone. Like they're sending me gifts. People, they're so kind. So I'm going to divert things your way. If there's anything you need, don't be a stranger. Put the list together. And our audience, my goal, I've been trying to grow my audience for a long time, but I want to be able to really help change lives in a much more meaningful way than, God bless the 700 people in the chat, but I want to grow this to a level where we can really, really help out and help your daughter out, like long term, you know? So, anyhow, don't be a stranger and keep us updated with whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And I'm sorry that this case is so triggering, but hopefully we can use some of that energy to do some good.
Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your kindness. Thank you, everyone.
Of course. Take care. Be in touch. You're on Facebook chatting with people in the Dave Neal community. So again, don't be a stranger. People are rooting for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. All right. There it is. I mean, what can you do? It's so emotional. Lots of great comments. I promised her I wouldn't keep her long, and I didn't want to have, I didn't want to have Jill have to pull up any thoughts or feelings. I mean, you can't imagine. I think as a healthy person, I think about, when I just got health insurance because I was like, I've got a kid now. I have to, what if I die? God bless Tasha, but she's not going on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I gotta be, like, you gotta take care of your family. And to think that, I'm sure like as an athlete, you look at, you're used to dominating and being in control of your body and in control over the situations you put yourself in from hard work. And then things happen in life that give you that don't give you that ability. Shannon said life isn't fair. So anyway, I'm gonna continue to promote her GoFundMe. But yeah, I'm gonna pester Jill. She's gonna regret the day she met me. We're gonna pester. I'm sure she's laughing. I'm gonna pester Jill to put together an Amazon wish list, because as nice as a GoFundMe is, and we'll promote that too. As nice as it is to have a GoFundMe, money doesn't, it's like, okay, well, here's the money that was raised and it goes into this bill. But, like an Amazon wish list, if there's like, oh, I really could use a humidifier, it would make me feel a little bit better sleeping at night, but it's not a top priority. Put it on the fucking wish list. Put it on the wish list. Let us help you. If there's some things that are going to bring some joy, to your daughter, throw them on there. Christmas can be whenever the hell we want. So we will share this link and share it. And, she had, like I said, she already had this GoFundMe set up. She just was, it was with friends and family. And I think she was a little bit, just worried about sharing it. It's like, no one wants to come off, and I get it. Like, she's got that person. I could tell she's got the personality type. She doesn't want to come off. She's like, she needs help. But that's okay, because we can be the ones to push it regardless of whether or not, So anyway, appreciate the different, the people that have donated. That's a lot of people in our community that regularly help out, and it means a lot. Oh my gosh. Like, look at this. A couple $1,000 donations. I don't know if that's new or not. I think that's new. These people, some of these people just donated. I don't know if the 1,000 is new, maybe not, but like, nice. I mean, big chunks of donations. So appreciate it, guys. And how it works with GoFundMe is like, that's money I think she'll have access to as soon as you donate. It used to be like, you'd have to get to a certain level for it to, I think you can access it. So, yeah, it's a good community. So here's the question. We're going to dive into the part that is kind of like the tea. So, by the way, why is this so? Can I do it? Let me see if this helps. See, it kind of gets in the way. I don't have I hate this little thing here. The only reason I used StreamYard was because I wanted to share Jill's story. But so we shared this information from 2023. Why is this important? Well, I'm going to share with you guys the receipt that I have. I don't believe it's ever been shared. The receipt that I have from when Laura Owens was trying to prove she was a potential buyer for Clayton Echard. So I'm about to share that. So buckle up. So how it worked was Clayton got his like real estate license, and within weeks of becoming a real estate guy, Laura Owens reached out to him. She targeted a naive first-time real estate guy. I would never buy a home from somebody. Like, it's such a large investment. You would never roll the dice just because you wanted to meet the hot new bachelor. I mean, being a real estate agent can take years of developing goodwill and client lists and trustworthiness and things like that. It's not something that you just get into and people start throwing leads your way. That's just not how it works. It's not how it works. So for her to say, hey, I found you, I trust you, I want this, in hindsight, it makes so much sense how shoddy it is, how ridiculous it is. But in the moment, you know, he's being naive. He's like, all right, I'm in real estate. I was the bachelor. People want to work with me. So she provides him proof that she has $448,000. Now, we all know this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous in hindsight. But Clayton, you know, at the time he goes, look, I just thought it was, you know, she provided. I mean, imagine if you wanted to work with someone and they provided you a pay stub that they had money. Why would they lie about that? Because when it came down to getting a loan from the bank, you can't lie to the bank, right? They got your social. They're looking into all of they're doing credit reports and all of this. You can't lie about that. Mary says, why the heck would Laura pick a new real estate agent unless she followed and targeted him? Yeah, there's just no way whatsoever. There's just no way whatsoever. So, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button and let's go into it. Here's the receipt that I've obtained showing she had or claimed to have $448,000. Here it is. We can analyze this all day long. Account number. Now, if I'm Rachel Mitchell, I would very much want to see what I'm sharing right now. $448,000 she claimed to have. We just talked to Jill, who said, I'll never have $60,000 in my bank account. And here we have a entitled brat claiming she's got nearly $500,000 in cash. Now, no money in savings, no money in checking. No, like, why are all these other things? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on here? So this would have been the statement that this would have been her latest statement before meeting Clayton, or one of her latest, right? And, you know, maybe you guys in the comment section can see more about this than I can. It seems very basic as far as this is like a screen grab up here. Like, I don't know too much, but up here, Owens, PL, proof of finances, maybe. What does PL mean? PL, proof of finances, proof of financials. So it's a PDF, which means it probably doesn't have too much metadata attached to it. But I mean, what was taken out here, clearly things were removed. I don't know what this like highlighter thing is. I don't know what's going on with this. No idea what that is. Brittany says, why is there no dash next to savings and checkings? Well, my guess is that she like blurred it out. As you can see right here, there's something going on. Timmy says, where's her name and address? So yeah, probably removed. Now again, why would you remove your name and address? What would be interesting is if someone could maybe reverse Google search this just to prove this came from somebody else. Now, we don't know if that's the case. We don't know if these numbers 448 came from somebody else or if this was all added. As we know, she's really good at her, well, not really good, but she's good enough at her, whatchamacallit, Adobe Acrobat. Turdad says the Docket podcast suggests that she lied about having $500,000. Well, of course she lied. Of course she lied. So why is the savings and checkings blank? I mean, yeah, why, like, we're assuming it was blurred out, but like, why would you do that? Why would you blur that out in any reason? If this was stolen from somebody else, why would you blur it out? I don't have any answers. Timmy said I could change the amount in less than a minute. Yeah, that's right, Sarah. It is arts and crafts. So like I don't know what else to share with you with regard to this document other than it hasn't been something that has been looked into and dissected by our community. Previous balance, 1 deposits credit, 0 withdrawals. So the savings had 1 previous deposit. Dividends earned in 2023, 90 cents. So dividends earned is essentially nothing. Now, again, I don't know how that relates. I don't know if any of this other information refutes this 448, but what refutes this 448 is showing what information was shared with me, which is that, I mean, imagine if you had $448,000 in your money market account, that's essentially money that you are prepared to just invest with, right? You wouldn't have it in your money market account. It would be in your stocks. It would be in different places. Now, everyone needs a 6 months emergency fund. That really all you should have in your money market account, and leave a comment, let me know, is 6 months emergency. And I mean, if you actually have $448,000 in your money market account, you've probably got $20 million in the stock market, right? Sarah says it would be more than 90 cents on that amount of money, though, if the money market gets dividends. No, I completely agree with you. I'm just looking at this going, I wonder if, the money market account, especially in money market account interest rate, April 2023. So 2020, the interest rate was really high last year. It's starting to come down. This is going to be information that might take a little bit longer to look up here. But if you like search money market accounts, I don't know, right in January of 2025, some of these high yield savings accounts are 4.5%. And I'm just offhand, I'm going to do some like extremely rough estimates, but the amount of money you would be making off of a money market account rate, let me actually go and find, and maybe someone can help me out with the math here, because it's kind of hard to talk and do investigative journalism at the same time, but that's what we like to do. If you had $500,000, how much interest will I earn on a money market account with $448,000? My guess is it would be about $900 a month. I mean, that's just a guess that I'm making here. Certainly not 60 cents. Princess Consuela says, does the QR code send you to Fiverr? Yeah, I don't know. So so again, let's just, and also, could she have just put the money in the account? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, where does that QR code send you? But let's say you have 400. Let's do this. And again, this is today's money, so the interest rates change. Let's say you have no whatever interest earned. So if you have $448,000, your interest earned would be $1,800. I believe that's monthly, $1,800 monthly. So, I mean, it just goes to show, when you have a lot of money, you can make a lot of money. She could live for free out of the casita with $448,000 a month. Dana, one of our big financial experts here, said you can actually invest and make it available if needed within 24 hours, then better return. Yeah, I mean, Dana, I completely agree, unless the stock market crashes, which apparently today it's actually a really bad day. But either way, it's going to be topsy-turvy, folks. You got to, if you're someone like Laura, who she's young, relatively for investing purposes, she shouldn't be touching any of her investment money. But again, it's very, very bizarre. And when I got a hold of this, like we always knew this existed. It just didn't, I mean, it kind of mattered, but it was also just like, whatever, like we trusted Clayton's word for it, because he hasn't lied about one thing here with regards to claiming, how, the different ways in which she was coming after him. So here he is. He meets her. She says, "Here's some money I got." And he goes, "All right, great. You got the money." And then, they hook up. He gets a couple blowjobs. Hey, whatever. Life happens, right? He was shaping the news. Erica said she testified in court. She didn't have that money though. And again, look, if Rachel Mitchell, and by the way, I'm going to tweet this out, or in a few minutes, when I'm on Patreon, you guys can join me. We need Rachel Mitchell to see this. This is a receipt. And by all means, I'm sure she's doing a great job with her investigators. Nobody has reached out to me for all of the information we have. And hopefully they go straight to the source. Hopefully they get this from Clayton and whatever. But this is information in a PDF, which was sent to Clayton. I'm assuming, at first when she said, when she shared proof of income or proof of money, I was kind of worried, oh, maybe she shared it to him in person. And that's why, if she was smart, she would have showed him this in person and just pulled up her reports. That would be the smart thing to do. But no, there's a timestamp of her sending this to him. This is important stuff. To say you have $500,000 and you really don't, that shows a financial manipulation, fraud. All for what? So that Clayton and her could play boyfriend, girlfriend. So she testified that she jointly made $250K or $200K. It's still a lot of money. Sure, it's a lot of money, and it's hard to buy a house, even in it was hard for me to buy my first home, and I do well. I've done well the last couple of years. I don't have $448,000 in a money market account. That's for damn sure. I bought my home with relatively low initial deposit, because if in today's world you're buying a home with 20% down, you're fucking loaded. Homes are so expensive. It's crazy out there. Now, with that said, if she has this cash, does anybody who knows anything about real estate, are these the receipts of somebody who buys a home with that level of cash? You know what I mean? And I guess that's the big question. I don't know much about HELOC loans. Let me just. So I don't know which definition I want to find, but a HELOC loan can unlock your home's equity to fund home renovations or consolidate debt. So I guess my question is, and maybe someone can explain this to me, when she gets a modified house ownership, adding Sarah and Christian, power of attorney for refinance. So they refinance, power of attorney for HELOC. So does that mean they take money out of the home? So let's say you buy a home for $500,000 and now it's worth $1 million. Does the HELOC take the profits that you've made off of the value of your home and use that as leverage to buy new homes? Either way, Brooke said, my husband is a YouTuber and I freelance. It was so hard to convince them to give us a mortgage. Yeah, Brooke, what's so interesting is I've done well. Tasha's always, she doesn't work anymore, but she's done well, but we're both freelancers. I got to show them what Google receipts look like and this and that. And they never told us how much they would loan us, which was crazy. They would just keep on asking us what we wanted to pay. So we didn't buy a home that was going to make us house broke, but it's still a ridiculously bad interest rate and we need to refinance. It's not a good situation as far as financially goes. Now, I'm going to have a hell of a lot to write off. I paid $55,000 this year in interest. It's insane. But anyone who bought a home in the last year knows, what are you going to do? What was I going to do? Live in my duplex with a baby on the way? So a bad, there's a reason why people do deals that aren't great. They generally say death, babies, right? There's a few reasons. If we didn't have the baby coming, we might have waited another 2 years. But in the end, the benefit that I had with such a terrible interest rate is that no one else was buying a home. So a home that might have, with a good interest rate, my home might have had a bidding war. So, you know, you look at it and you go, well, it cost me more money in interest, but the home might have been higher valued if it was a 3% loan, not 7+%. E. Cola says, how are tax returns? Don't they take your business statements for your tax returns? How does that work in the US? If it's complicated, I have to show my S Corp. I basically pay myself. So every 2 weeks, my business, which is me, pays me. So I as an employer, I get taxed. And as an employee, I get taxed. And then at the end of the year, I get taxed. It ain't good. Pam says, I don't think their home is worth 1.8 million. So I wonder how they got that much out. Yeah, their home doesn't look like, I mean, it doesn't look nice at all. There is some property to it. Again, it doesn't. Caroline says, using HELOC for anything other than stated on the loan application is mortgage fraud. And again, I don't know if that's the case. I don't, you know, what Laura does is some of the things like she does here are by the book. Like this might all be by the book. It's what she's doing with it to Clayton. So like when she lied to me about, you know, her medical information, she then said, oh, I lied to a journalist. I didn't lie in court. The fuck are you talking about? You know, I don't live in a world where you get to lie to me, but not them. So my opinions are based on the fact that she absolutely lied.
She lied
to me, the lead person covering this case. Now, I got to tell you guys, I'm not some highfalutin, you know, I'm trying to find the image. I'm not some high-powered journalist at San Francisco Chronicle, but I'll tell you what I do have. A fucking backbone. And I think you guys watch this show because of that. And I think you guys have a backbone too. And we don't get pushed around. We don't get pushed around with fraudulent documents, trying to lie to our faces, trying to lie in our inbox. We don't fuck with that. We don't do that. So again, this is the world we live in, where you've got people, and God bless them. Look, I don't know a dang thing about this guy from the San Francisco Chronicle, other than, and I'll say this, he's getting a hell of a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons. As a journalist, you never want to be the story. You don't want to be the story. So he is the story because he took out the part of his journalism that actually shared some truth of the matter. And look, when it comes down to it, if you're going to write a fluff piece about Ronn Owens, you have to include the part where they've been funding her legal expenses. You just have to. Toadette says, I wonder if something will happen with the investigation. Well, King Bob says backbone. I was going to say brain. Well, my brain is attached to my backbone through the spine. So yeah, lots of questions about what might happen. And I saw some people go really hard at the journalist. I don't know if that's a good strategy. I honestly just don't know. But I'm just seeing the comments that people are leaving me here. These journalists, like I've spoken to some journalists that we love in our community, and we've talked about how like it's frustrating that Bianca Buono has only covered this once or twice. But like journalists in mainstream media, especially on the smaller level, they have a hell of a lot to do. They're their own producers. They're all these things. I've basically been the journalist who covers the Clayton Echard case. There's others, of course. Reality Steve's been going off. Megan Fox has been amazing. Umbrella Guy. There's absolutely been others. But the point I'm making is I don't cover all of Scottsdale news. And this just isn't that important to Bianca Buono because she's got other deliverables to cover. Please keep this in the news. Someone sent this 10 minutes ago, an update on the scam. And this was me talking about her money market account. So yeah, we'll share the receipts on Twitter. Maybe I'll make a reel about it on Instagram. And look, people can decide to donate money to him all they want. We'll support Jill and other good people who really need the help. I wish the San Francisco Chronicle was spending their valuable cachet as what was, I guess, a respected news organization, highlighting stories of people that actually need it. And I hate to do the whole it's one versus the other, because look, we get it. They covered Ronn Owens because he's kind of famous and they're going to get clicks and it's doing him a favor. Like, we get it. That's why they did it, but I want to live in a world where people like Jill have their voices heard too. And boy, what an emotional live stream to share Jill's story. When I heard about Jill over the weekend, I thought, well, it fits so perfectly into what I was already going to cover, which is, this kind of, I call it a grift fund me, or go fund. I go fund who? Him? What? I don't know. Did he spend his money on hookers and blow? I have no idea. I mean, you don't just gamble and not spend it on hookers and blow. Let me tell you something. If there's anything I've learned in my day, the odds of someone losing their money to gambling, very high that they also did hookers and blow. You can't have one without the other. You can't have blow without gambling, and you can't have hookers without blow. So the hooker to blow ratio is nearly parallel to the gambling your life savings away. It's just, guys, I'm just letting you know that as I shape the fucking news today, the correlations between hookers, blow, and gambling, they are like, there they are. So I'm not saying he wasted his money on hookers and blow. I'm just telling you, if you're going to bet a lot of money on whether or not your favorite team's going to win, you might be doing blow off a hooker's ass, is all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, for me, I don't gamble. I don't do hookers. I don't do blow. I eat cookies. Okay, that's my hookers and blow. Now you might say, Dave, would you do a line of like a chocolate chip cookie off a hooker's ass? How hungry am I? Is the question. How hungry am I? My vice is sugar. There is no sugar correlation to hookers and blow. It's just a different game. Sure, every afternoon I have a Celsius energy drink and I put my ear pods in and I go for a run and I think crazy thoughts. But one of those thoughts is not pissing away my life savings and maybe doing hookers and blow. I don't know. Or doing blow and hookers. The old boog of sugar. That's right, Erica. The old boog of sugar. So anyhow, yeah, I mean, if I'm hungry enough, I've had chocolate chip cookies out of the trash before. You ever throw something? You're like, no more. I'm going to throw it out. And then you look in the trash and you're like, hello, my friend. And then you just dust off the old cookie. Yeah, I eat cookies and I go on a walk. Karen said, I disagree on gamblers. Okay. No, there's always somebody. I appreciate you. There's always somebody. Let me put before we get out of here. Let me do a nice retraction. Not all gamblers do hookers and blow, or blow and hookers. I'm just saying, if you find out your buddy was doing, blow and hookers, would you be shocked to find out they had a gambling addiction? I'm just saying. Cece said, I have zero understanding of the rush of gambling. I don't get it either. It's just not like I said, I like a good, you know what? You know what my gambling is? My gambling is eating a Little Caesars pizza and trying not to shit my pants. That's how I roll the dice. Okay. That's me. That's just me. I'm not judging, right? We don't judge, but I'm just saying to lose your money due to gambling. And I'm not claiming he did hookers and blow, although I do wonder here what, we have a solid inquiry as to what Rich Lieberman thinks. Can we get him on the show? Because Rich Lieberman definitely had something that he wasn't telling us, right? Did he take it down? Is this it?
We are live. It is Sunday morning, January the 5th, 2025.
Rich, do you know something that we need to know about hookers and blow? I don't know. Maybe I've said hookers and blow too much today, but hey, I'm just shaping the news, just shaping the Monday news. Tiffany wants Uncle Fester's thoughts for sure. Jane says you do not want Rich on the show. Okay, fine. What's his audience size like anyway? He's got a big 624 followers, or 624,000. 624,000 followers? No, 624. Okay. I'm not shaming him. What are people saying, though? We always love these comments. The Owens family still owns the horse farm, Quartet Farm in Florida. One would think there would be enough assets between the property, horses, and leases. It's very concerning this comes at a time when his daughter had been ordered to pay $150,000 in a judgment due in 30 to 45 days. Guys, I don't like to beat a dead horse. No pun here. No pun. I don't like to beat a dead horse, but I want to know, and this is maybe we need to put together like a little audience here to just to like put this together. Whether you're on the Patreon or on the Facebook, let's get this info. Without sharing addresses, because I don't want any doxing publicly. Without sharing addresses, I want to know everything that Ronn Owens owns as an asset. They have a horse farm in Florida. Did I know about this? A horse can be worth $100,000, right? Cece says if Laura ends up paying Clayton $150,000, we know where that money came from. But look, here's the scary part. That would be the best use of the GoFundMe money, but they're not going to. Winnick should figure out if Laura has access to the GoFundMe account and put a lien on those funds to pay her judgment. Oh my gosh, that's insanity. Yeah. That's such a good idea. Now, what's crazy with this is, how do they think they're getting away with this? So here, and again, we're going to get out of here in a second. I'll be on Patreon right after this, patreon.com/Dave Neal. But LL is organizing the fundraiser. Like, listen, have some fucking backbone and put your name behind it. Laura, you're organizing a fundraiser for your dad. Just own it. The fact that they just try to hide behind this is shady as hell. Gorilla said gambling and hookers existed long before a readily available blow. The world's oldest profession and all that. Sure. I mean, what did they do in biblical times? Hookers and sugarcane. What are they? Are they just gnawing on sugarcane? Or growing cannabis, the burning bush. I don't know what they're doing. Let me just see what I'm making sure I'm getting some comments here. That's different from her. Different statement dates on those images. Different. I'm getting people sending me different information. So hold on a second. Let's see if we can. This is why we do this publicly, because we get information. And like I said, I do have to go in a minute, but the numbers are different. So I'm just going to share with you one of the documents that was just sent to me. And again, we'll have to iron this all out, but I was just sent this document. Give me a second here. Again, some live streams, some videos were airtight, and then some like this, we're kind of just like doing the math here. So you might say, Dave, Oh, Davy boy. Oh, Davy boy with the tough spine. You might say, well, what's the proof that that statement was from her, right? She blurred out, you might say she blurred out the information. So what's to say this is from her? Other than we could probably check that out with metadata and all of that. Well, here, thanks to my good friends sharing this information with me live on the spot, to demonstrate my offers were serious, I attached proof of funds to the offers, which included a current bank statement showing I had almost $450,000 in cash in my checking account. So this is a different amount of money. Previous balance, 448, 616.25. So she says her previous balance was 448, 616. $448, 618. 448, 618. Maybe that's an 18. So all I'm saying is this. If this is real, yeah, 618. So previous balance, deposit by check, deposit dividend tiered rate, ending balance, annual percentage yield for period, 2.1%. First of all, isn't 2.1% extremely low? Cat Lady Ballerina says, why was the beneficiary blanked out in the newer version? I'll be honest with you. This right here reeks of me not having the answer, but something smells fishy. Sarah said, catch her ass lying on live streams again. That's what I'm trying to do. Someone said they look like legit statements, but are they hers? One is March and the other one from the affidavit is April. So if they are legit statements, but are not hers, then we have to find out whose they are. But why would she have someone's personal bank statements that aren't hers? And if this money is hers, whenever I ask a question, you guys know I need the music. And if this money is hers, then why didn't she use it to buy a home? Sarah said her fragrance of choice is fish. Jeez. Sheeb says, is that the same bank reference in the previous one? This is a money market account this is money market checking. Dividends earned. Where's the actual account number? I don't see any account number. So she used this to share that she had the funds in her checking account ready to buy a home. I attached proof of funds to the offers, which included a current bank statement showing you had almost $450,000 in cash. So let's say she did have $450,000 in cash. Old Ronnie boy needs to jack up the rent of the casita. Marilyn said the name isn't hers or she would not have covered it. Why would she redact her name as beneficiary? You guys are asking great questions. You're asking great questions. I wonder if Rachel Mitchell wants to call Logix Smarter Banking. It does seem like a random bank. Look, I guess you could have a bank in California. But again, yeah, where's the proof that this is hers? And how come here it says she earned only 90 cents in dividends in 2023? Clearly she wouldn't have left this in there if I don't know. Stephanie said, I think it's Jan's account for the horse business. Laura testified her and Jan owned together. I mean, if this was the horse business money, then why are they trying to raise money from their fans? Bruce said it seems like different banks. And the other thing is, just because this lines up right here doesn't mean she didn't do the math herself, right? And it's not going to take rocket science to do the math here. By the way, it's starting to snow here in Nashville. I turned the heat down. Let me turn the heat up. I'm freezing in here. I'm cheap. I turned the heat down. 70 degrees. All right, turning it up to 74. We had to sleep at 76 because the baby, he can't have blankets. So we got to keep the house warm. Karen said, Ron must be rolling in his grave. No, he's rolling in the casita, or he's rolling in the living room. Brady says, and why isn't baby Jingy getting paid? Does anybody want to pay baby Jingy? Baby Jingy needs to get paid too. He didn't get his paycheck. Look, folks, I'm going live on Patreon right now. We're going to keep talking about this. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll be discussing this also in the afternoon episode of The Rush. Oh, it's really snowing. Honey, the snow's coming down. Tasha, it's snowing. You guys want to see the snow? I'm going to move the camera so you can... Hold on a second. Hold on. I got my shorts on, guys. Hold on, folks. Check this out. It's snowing. All right. How about that? I'm presenting the snow. I'm shaping the news. The news has been shaped. It snowed in the Sahara Desert. All right. Coming up next, I've got the Rush Hour podcast. Spike said Dave has a very volatile GI tract. Well, not really. No. I don't. I can eat just about anything. But hold on. I've all my things are twisted. Switch over to these. So anyhow, did I lose anyone in there? Oh, 700. You're all still here. You guys want to see my weather report. Toadette says, my dog is now barking at you. I'm sorry about that. So it's snowing here in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, we like some good snow. Well, maybe I'll drive to Starbucks to get a hot coffee. Either way, I'm going live on Patreon. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. Oh, I don't know if I got these. Ron shaped the news. His daughter was the news. Sarah says, don't forget the goal. Thank you so much, Sarah. And Steve's in the chat. Oh, $10. Says, thanks, Dave, for sharing the truth and whole story. Keep up the great work. Of course, Steve, I interviewed him about ADHD coaching on Saturday's Rush Hour podcast. You can watch that here on YouTube. If you think you might have ADHD, we talk about a lot of just good practical things that you can do. Cat Lady, $5. Any chance we can get someone like an Annie Elise to cover this entire story? I don't know who that is, but I would love that. Liz Wagner, $10, says, talk to Big Tiff Dog. She did a deep dive into Lowe's finances and does this for a living. Very enlightening. All right, I'll have to get Big Tiff Dog to look at all of this new information with me. Sarah, $2. Thank you for sharing Jill's story. Mary, my heart just breaks for Jill. I understand. Appreciate that. And GA, $5. Apricot seed kernels and soursop leaves tea kill cancer cells. My in-law had cancer as well. This helps. Hey, get those apricot seed kernels. I mean, honestly, I always tell people, like, use whatever tools you can. Some of those tools might be modern chemo, things like that, and some might be Eastern medicine. Absolutely. Okay. Well, barring any other information, let me double check my email, because when you share stuff like this, you definitely get a lot of emails. Lots of new information coming out. All right. I don't have anything right now. I'm going to be sharing it. I'll share this. I'll share these documents with the Patreon, and yeah, we'll get down to the bottom of it. So if you haven't already, you can join the Patreon. It's a private membership community, $5 a month. It's where everyone hangs out in the comment section. I'll show you guys the community right here. We've got the different communities. Hold on, let me pull them up. We have the people talking about the Clayton scandal, general chat, things like that. So in this community, oh, thank you, Sarah, for sharing the GoFundMe. And we, people are just, it's a good place to chat because everyone's kind of like, well, I was going to say everyone's vetted, but Chase J. Jones slid through the cracks. But everyone's kind because, there's not a bunch of random trolls. But our community's been great. You guys have been fantastic. It was an emotional one hearing Jill's story because it's so frustrating. I love sharing good stories. And her story, it's sad. It's emotional. It's heartbreaking. We're not going to let Jill have this fight alone. And she's going to have our community supporting her. And God knows that's going to boost the immunity. And we're going to help out her daughter in any way we can. Maybe we'll fund a birthday party or get her, a toy that might be out of the budget. We are here to help. It's the least we can do. Right, folks? Why is this all? Sorry, I'm having an issue with my chat. I think I lost the chat. Oh, there it is. The chat's back. All right. Jane says he is censoring as well. I don't know what that means. Dividends because it's a credit union, not a bank. Oh, Uncle Fester deleted the comments. Interesting stuff, folks. All right. I'll be on Patreon in under 5 minutes. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll see you there. Thanks for all the support.